Good morning and welcome to Sports and Shorts Tailgate Edition on 92.9 KVRE, online at kvre.com, and on iHeartRadio. Alongside Tracy Simpson, I'm Mark Oliver. Tracy, how's your week been in the sporting world this week?
Are you kidding me, Mark? Man, oh man, we had so much fun this week. And highlighting a lot of it, of course, is so much baseball going on around the region and, of course, softball, but just watching all the different programs. And I had an exciting, when it comes to watching it, literally watching it streaming, of course, and such like that, I was able to watch hockey and basketball at the same time, which you don't put those two together, but it was pretty fun, and actually it was exciting. So a lot of activities over the weekend, of course, going to see baseball live, and then watching some great action on the ice and, well, out on the diamond. And then also, man, this basketball, NBA's got crazy.
I know that you said that you're not a huge NBA fan these days, and that's fine. You're entitled to that. But I will say the way that things are shaping up looks to be pretty exciting so far. Seeing some really big question marks like, boy, how did this team lose this game?
Yeah.
Seeing some other just rallies and comebacks and some series that are a little bit closer than expected. I think the stars are really shining brightly, and I think we're in for a very interesting rest of the run when it comes to the NBA. Tracy, when we were sitting down and planning out this show this week, we realized very, very quickly, and I guess this is a message to our listeners, we realized very, very quickly that there are way more than 4 stories that we can really get to this week. So I know some of you guys are going to be like, wait, they didn't talk about this week? No, we didn't. So this is essentially the first of maybe a 2-parter that bleeds into next week's show. But Tracy, we're going to begin this week's show with maybe a bit of a controversial story affecting the college football landscape right here close to home. Up in the northwest corner of the state, the University of Arkansas is in a very interesting situation right now involving former quarterback Madden Iamaleava, who the story coming out this week that the Maleava family has entered the transfer portal with Nico leaving Tennessee, and now Madden parting ways with Arkansas. Both are headed over to California, and this story stinks. It stinks both literally, figuratively. There's something odd going on here, and we wanted to make sure that we started this week's show by diving right in. So let's break down this story for those that are not as familiar with the situation here. So what happens when you have a college athlete who comes into a program, they have not played a down of football in the regular season, but now they've decided to leave the school after one semester with a money bag full of NIL payments? Well, this is occurring across a lot of the sports landscape right now, not even just in college football, but across all sports. But this example may be one of the biggest, and the biggest opportunity, perhaps, for the University of Arkansas to set a precedent, because it involves the high-profile Iamaleava family. Nico, of course, of Tennessee fame, and now Madden, who was slotted to come in and be the starting QB for Arkansas. Both now are going to UCLA. Both are quarterbacks, by the way. And now they're both committing to UCLA. Well, they can only play one starting quarterback, so who's going to get the nod? I assume it's Nico.
Well, yeah.
But who's going to get the nod there? Why would you both go to the same school if it's all about playing time? Here's the answer. It's not. It's all about the money. And we've seen this right now. So right now in the college football landscape, well, we talked about this on our show a few months back about a Vanderbilt player that sued the NCAA because he was an NJCAA player and lost a year of eligibility, and that hindered his NIL money. Well, that sparked a whole big legal battle that we expect will take place this summer and have a pretty big ruling about NIL money and how universities can pay players. So what appears to be happening is players have understood that there's a potential loophole here, because before this case is fully litigated this summer, and we expect there to be a huge lessening of the leash of restriction on players and the money that they're able to get, players are committing to schools signing that NIL contract and then leaving before they actually play a down or play a second of action on the court or on the field, whatever, and taking that money bag with them, universities have a choice to make. Now, based on the language inside of that contract, they can pursue that player who leaves and transfers away and goes to the portal, which may happen in this situation with Arkansas, and they can pursue the definition of that contract where there may be a buyout clause written in, and if you're smart, there will be, and if you're not smart, then you've been had. But pursue that buyout clause to recuperate some of that money coming back that has been paid out to these players. So the idea is on the player's side, using that loophole, by the time that a university goes through the process and litigates that and appeals and things, this decision by the NCAA might have come down already, which is going to wipe away the landscape and change the entire landscape of NIL to begin with. So Arkansas AD Hunter Yurachek came out with a statement following this move to the transfer portal. And this it's pretty abrasive in my interpretation of the statement. Here's the quote from Hunter Yurachek. It says, "I have spoken with the leadership team at Arkansas Edge and expressed my support in their pursuit to enforce their rights under any agreement violated by our student athletes moving forward. We appreciate Edge's investment in our student athletes and acknowledge the enforcement of these agreements is vital in our new world of college athletics." All right, so I've talked a lot here, Tracy. Interested to get your thoughts on the situation that's unfolding with the University of Arkansas.
Mark, for one thing, your check came out, and I think that was just running in circles, basically, is what that was saying. Buying time to be able to somehow recount and recoup some of the money.
It's a threat.
That's the deal right there.
It may be
legal action. What he's doing is he's just saying right up, we're going to pursue legal action. Is what he's saying in a nice way.
It was in a nice way, in a nice professional, almost like AI generated,
and that was the
monotone
whole deal.
Way. But make no bones about it, this is a threat.
Oh, no, there's no bones about it. But here's what I can understand to begin with. All right, NCAA came up with this NIL, of course, and they had all these different meetings prior to all this. These guys are not only leading money winners in the world of making money in the United States, of course, but make no bones about it, they really didn't know where they were going once they opened up this can of worms. I'm telling you. And as it is right now, it's fixing to change up more.
And we've been talking about this for forever. It feels like a volcano that's just about to erupt.
Well, and I'm going to tell you what, they did it to themselves. And now these kids that are making the money, you think they're the ones that are smart enough to figure this out? No. That's all the backing that they have behind them, and don't think that they don't have lawyers.
Agents, lawyers,
the
legal
whole
teams.
9 yards.
Oh, yes.
And so what they're doing now is just saying, hey, you asked us, and now we're doing it. And sure enough, I cannot believe that they didn't think this out before they came up. And why did they think this was going to make the sport better? I have not figured that one out yet. All it was, and I'm going to say it, greed. That's the bottom line. They were wanting more money, because when you get the better athletes, of course, your team's going to perform better, and you're going to, obviously get into bowls, which gets more TV, more radio, more media time, and that's what it boiled down to. So what I'm saying is, hey, what they got, they deserved. And now they're going to come back and say it in a nice way that, hey, we're going to threat, we're going to sue, we're going to get our money back. Well, guess what? Hey, I don't see how it ever got to this position to begin with, but I'm for the athletes. I'll be honest with you. Now, I'm not for what they said as far as leaving and not playing. I don't think that should be that way. It should have been thought out a little bit better. But you got some smart people on the athlete side too that are beating the system, so to speak.
Oh, no doubt. And this has all the appearances of trying to beat the system. So for clarification purposes, you said that you're for the players.
Yes.
Does that mean that you're for the players and not the universities?
Well, they brought it on themselves, Mark. You know what I'm saying? Hey, I'm about a 70-30 right here. I'll be honest with you. I don't want to see the universities get tossed around, but at the same time, I don't want to see these athletes be pushed into a circumstance where they're not going to, just like the eligibility, like you said a while ago. Okay, and that's what happened to that kid, probably because he didn't have a significant amount of leadership as far as from legal options and stuff like that. But now all of a sudden you're getting to see these other ones that are the higher echelon of, the draft picks that are coming up, which we'll be talking about later, that have the professionals that are behind them. And that's what I think right now is that, look, they figured a loophole.
They have.
And it's a big hole.
It is a big loophole. And here's the deal. The players have figured out this loophole, and it's worth it to them.
Yes.
Even if, in the case of University of Arkansas, which I think the Razorbacks can set a huge precedent here, if they actually legally pursue this and legally get their money back, this would be the probably the most noteworthy occurrence of this happening, where the university takes charge and tries to get that money back. And I think other universities will start following suit, because many universities have decided that it's not worth their time, it's not worth their money, and there's so many other things going on. The university, it's other than maybe like the moral of it, it's a lose-lose for the university. Once again, these guys are coming in, maybe they're signing a contract, a signing bonus,
right?
And then they're getting, we're talking about they might sign in the fall or in the winter, and they're signing bonus, and then of course they're getting paid. Maybe at this point, maybe Madden and Nico are getting 5-6 NIL paychecks before even spring ball,
before anything.
And now this window opens, and then you transfer out. So
money's gone already, though. Mark, is a problem.
Well, the money may be already gone, but that's not the university's problem. That is the player's problem. And you can also make the arguments as well. They're going to California.
Yeah.
How does the tax situation work whenever you enter the state of California?
That's a whole
it's a huge rabbit hole. But one thing that I may disagree with you on is I think that, like you said, the universities brought it on themselves. The NCAA's brought it on themselves. This is true. But I also think that they had no choice but to they basically just vomited out a plan onto the playing surface here. This NIL, it's broken, it's flawed, and obviously now it's extremely exploitable on the term of the players. But I don't think that they had much of a choice. And talking about that volcano, I believe that we were very, very close to the players themselves starting to uprise and either hold out of college sports altogether, or a third party. Maybe it's like in the NBA, they have, you can play professional basketball with the NBA or with a professional league outside of the NBA.
Yeah,
I think we were very, very close to a professional collegiate football league starting that was going to pull money away from the NCAA to begin with. So I think in order to save face and keep everybody under this umbrella of ownership with the NCAA, they just threw noodles at the wall to see if they stuck. And they kind of stuck, but they're kind of also dangling down and headed towards the floor right now.
Mark, let's go back a little bit like we always do. Diddly, diddly, diddly. You couldn't go and get groceries for anybody.
Nope.
And it would be a violation.
Nope.
It didn't matter. A pair of tennis shoes. It didn't matter.
That's
anything.
Right. That's right.
And they threw fits about this. Barely 20 years ago, 10 years ago.
Reggie Bush lost his Heisman trophy.
Everything. They took it away from him. So you're telling me that all of a sudden that throwing noodles against the wall and not sticking, now that it's drip, you know what? No, it's worse than that. These guys, like I said a while ago, these are supposed to be some of the smartest businessmen in the world, basically. And they did not think this through. So what I'm saying, and I'm not saying that what the students are doing right now is all right, but I'm just saying, as far as the two parties involved, I think that the colleges and the NCAA got what they deserved. I'm just saying that. That's all I'm saying.
And even if the players do have to give back the money, and of course we don't know what the contract language in this situation has in it, but one, we hope that there is a buyout clause at all in there, because if Arkansas or any of these other universities that are affected doesn't have that buyout clause in there where, hey, you're under contract with us, if you want to get out, you have to pay us back. If that's not in there, then this is the wild, wild west, and Arkansas's got egg all over its face in this situation. I assume that it's in there.
Well,
and even if this family, these brothers, have to pay some of the money back, guess what? They still come out ahead in the long run. And you don't think that transferring to UCLA in Los Angeles, California, their NIL deal may be even bigger. You go where the money goes, right?
Well,
you go where the money is. You think who do you think is going to offer more money in this situation? UCLA Arkansas's in the SEC, yes.
No.
But are they top tier SEC when it comes to college football? You tell me who's going to give them more money.
We love
There's
LA.
a reason they left.
We love LA. I'm just, hey, but here's Mark, at least we forget. The bottom line is, what happened to education? What in the world happened to education? Is that not a thing anymore? I'm sorry, man. I've lost all respect for both of them. I'm not quite at the NBA special level yet, but I've lost all respect for the whole situation.
It's a fair point. It's a fair point.
I have,
but perhaps money does buy happiness.
And I'm going to revert back real quick, and then I know we got to go, but they had to have had some clause, especially thinking about injuries and such like that.
Yeah, absolutely.
This is something that it's not going to go away, obviously, but there's more to it than what we're seeing and what they're letting go on, and I can't wait till the next person shows his cards.
On behalf of the university, I hope that they're able to set that precedent and maybe put a stop to the loopholes happening.
Yes.
This all could change in the summer when the NCAA brings down its ruling in the Vanderbilt case. There's still time to tell, but in the meantime, it's still the wild, wild west whenever it's referring to the NIL situation. We have so much to talk about on this week's show. Don't go anywhere. That was a heavy topic, and we're going to bring it down and make it a little bit light whenever we come back. A really fun, a reminiscing story of Tracy and myself. We're going to talk about our favorite sporting events that we've been to when we come back right here on 92.9 KVRE.
Second quarter coming up.
And we're back, Sports and Shorts Tailgate Edition, 92.9 KVRE, and online at kvre.com. He's Tracy Simpson. I'm Mark Oliver. Tracy, every once in a while, we like to reminisce. Sports and Shorts Tailgate Edition is, yes, it's about the major news stories of the week in the sporting world, but it's also a cool opportunity to share a story or two. And something, of course, that's really important to us is, being able to experience sports for the first time or major sports moments that we've been able to be a part of. And we thought it'd be a cool opportunity for us and for our listeners as well to contribute what your favorite professional sporting event that you've ever attended was. I'll start. It was the summer of 1998. I was, I think, 11 years old. I was 11 years old. And we're in Chicago for the first time. I'm a huge White Sox fan. You guys already know that by now. In the summer of 1998, it was also special because even though I was a Southsiders fan, what was happening on the north side of Chicago was a major home run race. Sammy Sosa and Mark McGwire. So most of my mom's side of the family is from the Chicago suburbs. Glenview, Illinois is on the north side of Chicago over there in Cubs country, but I'm a White Sox fan in a family that lives in Cubs country. So I had the opportunity, my grandmother and I, we go to Chicago on a Greyhound bus in August of 1998, and I get the opportunity to not only go to my first Chicago White Sox game, but technically my second White Sox game, because it just so happened that August 8th, 1998 was a doubleheader. The Sox were playing the Angels. I walk in, it's U.S. Cellular Field at the time, and I'm mesmerized. I'm starstruck. Are you kidding me? I get to see my favorite athlete ever of all time, the Big Hurt, Frank Thomas, right there in the mix. The White Sox win a huge game 1, 7-5. They win game 2 of the doubleheader 4-3. There's fireworks going on. An incredible first experience. I'll never forget going to the gift shop that day. And, you can buy the autographed baseballs that have the whole team's autograph. They're not real autographs, but man, I didn't know that at 11, so I thought they had the entire 98 Sox team autographed on the ball. And then, of course, I remember, I'll never forget, I still have it. I was able to get a T-shirt that had the old Comiskey Park on it, and it was really, really special. It was just a white shirt, and it had the ballpark in black. But the cool thing about it is when you went in direct sunlight, I still don't know to this day how it worked, but when sunlight hit your T-shirt, the whole image brightened up and it was in full color. It was awesome. It was so awesome. But being able to sit there and Frank Thomas had a huge RBI double in the game, RBI sacrifice fly out, did some really great things. I mean, I was right there. I got to see my favorite player of all time. And, we actually ended up having to leave before game 2 was over because I was so excited. I was so excited about the opportunity and just mesmerized that I actually gave myself a migraine and it ended up puking all over the ballpark.
Oh, Mark.
And I had to leave game 2 early, but we listened to it on the radio on the way back to Glenview, and the Sox ended up winning that one 4-3. So, that's my first MLB moment, and I've been to multiple games since then. I've seen Petco Park in San Diego. I've seen Busch Stadium in St. Louis. I've seen Kauffman Stadium in Kansas City. Hey, I've even been to the Rogers Center for multiple games for the Toronto Blue Jays. So, I've gotten to see some ballparks. One of my goals maybe is to see all 30 ballparks, the ballpark bucket list maybe one day.
Oh, my goodness. Wow.
So I've got a few under my belt. I have a lot more to go. But as a baseball guy, I've seen many great moments, but I'll always remember my first games.
That's just, you know what, though, but just remember that essence of being there, that time and that place, and then just thinking about now seeing how the Sox have done so well since then. And
they won the World Series in 2005. Thank you very much. They broke an 88-year streak of not winning the World Series. And fun fact, they may never, ever do it again. But
well, wait a minute. There's always a chance.
Well, not this season.
There's always a chance, Mark.
I remember when they were 1-0 this season. That was great.
There we go.
They led the division. And they also led the division when they were 4-6. But now we're thinking next year.
Can I ask you a question? What made you become a Sox fan?
Frank Thomas.
Really?
Yeah. So I mean, obviously, my family, like I said, my mom's side of the family is all from the Chicago suburbs.
But still,
I love the Bears. I love the Bulls.
But why
didn't
you go to the Cubs?
Something about Frank Thomas, man. I don't know what it was. Now, don't get me wrong. Cubs are my second favorite team.
Okay.
And a fun fact, I also really enjoy all the other teams that Frank Thomas has played for, which includes the Oakland Athletics and the Toronto Blue Jays. But, man, just something about him. I don't know. Just seeing him, watching him on TV, getting his trading cards on the playground at Mountain Pine. I latched on to the guy, and he had, thankfully I can say that he had a very, a clean career. He wasn't involved in the steroid scandal. He didn't have controversies looming off the field. He was a guy that played the game the right way, played through a lot of injuries, unfortunately, late in his career, and injuries took him away from the game. But, for me, it was a huge role model. Had his poster on my wall right above my bed where I slept every night, and being able to see him play.
Now he's rebuilding that image on TV commercials, info commercials.
Yeah, I saw where apparently if you show up in Chicago this weekend and bring your signature Frank Thomas bottle of
Nugenics.
Well, no, he's. Yeah, yes, Nugenics. He'll sign you. Stop it. He'll sign your Nugenics, I'm sure. But he also has a line of alcohol products now that he wants. Yeah, listen.
I thought you said he was a clean.
I mean,
I got to go somewhere with it.
I mean, I don't necessarily know that drinking alcohol tarnishes your career. I mean, the dude is. I don't even know how old he is now. I'm not even going to speculate on that. But I mean, I'm sure that he's earned it. Whatever.
Oh yeah, but so a lot of those guys that did well in either baseball or football either have a restaurant or an alcohol product. Something of that nature.
I mean, everybody does it. It's just extra income,
especially in Chicago.
The league's not sending them checks anymore.
Yeah, well, there you go.
You got to make a living, I guess.
You're telling me there's no NIL there?
No. We're talking about the Chicago White Sox.
Yeah, well, there was back in 1919 or something.
Stop it.
Switching gears.
Why do I do this? Why do I come here every week and sit across? We're trying to have a nice segment. We're trying to talk. I was 11 years old. I'm trying to talk about my favorite childhood memory, and you just try to tear me down.
Oh man, I liked Hurt too. I loved. He was a good, clean, and I mean, you weren't going to go by first base without noticing.
Nope.
I mean, if he didn't want you on first, you weren't going to get. And for a big man, how quick was his hands? That was what was amazing.
Yeah.
He didn't have to bring the bat around a whole lot. All he had to do was make contact, and that was that simple.
Mm-hmm.
And I mean, it didn't matter. It was either going to go left, right, in some of the biggest home runs ever hit.
And he could even steal bases too. Didn't do it often, but he had the capability, especially earlier in his career.
Because they got out of his way.
Yeah. Oh yeah. You kidding me? You kidding me? I don't make enough to go to the hospital for this.
He could have been all right playing for the Bears. Also,
well,
if you think about it,
well, he was a two-sport athlete in college at Auburn.
That's exactly what I'm talking about.
Mm-hmm. He did play football.
He did. He was one of the best linemen around.
That's right.
So think about that.
All right, so Tracy, let's turn the tables a little bit. Tell me about a favorite sporting event that you've been to in your career. What really stands out to you?
I've been to on the professional level, hockey games, of course, baseball games, but football has been near and dear.
I had a
of
feeling.
course. And one of my favorites, and my team is the Dallas Cowboys. There's
Of
nothing, a quick story. We were watching preseason game, or I say we were. My mom and dad and aunt and uncle were watching the Dallas Stars and the Green Bay Packers in a preseason game at the Cotton Bowl, and my mom went into labor, and she went on to the hospital, and my dad, well, he's already had 3 boys. He said, "I'll be there after the game." So, and of course, St. Paul's Hospital is right down from the Cotton Bowl. So the game was over at 3. I was born at 3:35. So needless to say.
What a story that is. But you don't have a choice but to be a Cowboys fan.
That's what I'm getting at. And of course, look on the wall over there. It's Cliff Harris.
Oh, yes.
Right there.
The legendary Cliff Harris.
But so we win the championship at Hot Springs High. My junior year.
Yes.
We win the championship. And the funding, which it didn't have NIL then,
Nope.
but the parents and all the people gathered up money, and we got to go see the playoff game with the Dallas Cowboys and the Minnesota Vikings.
Wow.
Now, we're talking 2 premier quarterbacks at that time, and also playoff contenders. And, of course, if you recall, Dallas went on to play in the Super Bowl.
Mm-hmm.
All right?
Mm-hmm.
And we're at the old Texas Stadium. And, man, we're just having fun. The whole team and everybody and the parents, all the different.
All the Hot Springs
all the Hot
school
Springs High
football
Trojans,
team.
yes. And of course, sponsors and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And, of course, it wasn't some of the best seats. And if you've ever been to the old Texas Stadium, it was up high. And during the pregame warm-up and everything, it's 72 degrees in December. Which was, and
Beautiful.
Absolutely, it was nice, And then it all came down.
Okay.
And we're all in shorts and stuff, and and hoodies, and having a good time. And then here comes that wind. And speaking of a win, they did win the game, of course.
Cowboys
and
won.
The Cowboys won. Roger Staubach, of course.
Mm-hmm. Legendary.
Yeah, you got it. And but we all just started feeling a little bit on the underside there. And next thing you know, we're all just, soaking wet from the freezing rain coming in. And needless to say, we all ended up back at the hotel a little under the weather. And the ride home on the bus back home was something special. But it was one that I'll never forget, because also I made my way down to the end zone area and to get out of the wind, basically.
Okay.
But they Minnesota shanked a field goal.
Okay.
And guess who caught it?
You caught
They missed the whole everything.
so like the netting.
The netting, he shanked it that bad. I don't know if it was tipped or whatever. I'm sitting on the 30-yard line, or actually I'm in the stairwell, and here comes the ball. And I've got the popcorn, the soda pop, because I'm trying to make way back up the seats, and I see people coming at me. And the game's practically over.
Yeah.
They won 27-10. But they were going to kick a field goal and try to come back. And I caught that ball, and you would have thought that I'd won the Super Bowl.
What happened to the pop? You just dropped it, right?
I dropped everything, but it gets better. I'm thinking, hey, I got a ball. But this ain't like baseball. They wanted it back.
They wanted it back.
I wasn't going to give it back.
Okay.
You know me.
Are you kidding me? That's a souvenir.
So
Mine.
Exactly. So
Okay, so then what happened?
I take off in the tunnel running down through there, and here comes all the Yellow Jackets, which they wore them yellow guarded jackets and all the guards, all the
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
And I scooted around the corner. I'm thinking maybe I shouldn't have done this, and I hightailed it all the way. I ran all the way around.
And you're 16, 17 years old.
16 years old. And I run all the way around, and I come back to the tunnel that I'm going back up to where my guys are, and I'm thinking, I've made it. I just scored a touchdown. I won the game. And I get a tap on the shoulder, and the guy looks at me. He goes, "Really? Really?" And I just get my head down, and because I had the ball inside my hoodie.
Yeah, sure.
And he said, and I started to hand it to him. He goes, "Get up there with your buddies." And I went, "Really?" He goes, "Get up there, hurry now."
Yeah, exactly.
And I just
this should have never been a thing in the first place.
No, but all the guards.
We're talking about a professional sports organization.
And
Give a kid a football.
Hey, I ran up those stairs, and I turned around and looked at him, and I thought for a minute I was the kid getting the jersey from Mean Joe Green. He just looked at me and said, "Get on up there." And I ran up there, and to my rest of the guys on the team, I was I
Oh.
mean,
You're a superhero.
and I still have that ball to this day.
You still have the ball.
I still have
That's
that
exactly
ball.
what I wanted to hear.
I still have it to this day, and yep. And you know how many sports memorabilia I've got?
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, I've got an office full of stuff, and but that is one of the most, iconic stories for as far as mine. And I've got some good ones.
What a story! So you get to see legendary athletes.
Oh, it was
you get a ball.
unbelievable.
Fun fact, still to this day, have still not gotten a foul ball or a home run ball at an MLB game. I got a funny story I'll get to if we've got time. But also, you got to exploit major weaknesses in the Texas Stadium security. Major weaknesses.
They couldn't outrun me.
Of course they couldn't.
Man.
You just won the high school state championship. You kidding me?
That's right. That's exactly right. We had fun, man. Well, that was good times. And to this day, every time I see those guys that I, grew up with and stuff, when I see them, or at, the reunions and stuff, they're like, "Still got the ball?" I'm like, that's the first thing they ask me. That's the first thing. So
fun story here. So this is, I'm trying to remember what year this is. This is like 2010. It's the summer 2010. I'm in Toronto, Canada. I'm in the Rogers Center. The Blue Jays are playing, I believe, the Giants. And I've never gotten a foul ball or a home run ball in an MLB game. I hope to one day. But now the problem is that I'm 38 years old. And when I get one and there's a little kid like in the vicinity,
that's a tough one.
I have to give it to the kid.
You do?
Right? Or else I'm villainized. Right? But the kid in me
right.
wants to have that moment that I've never gotten.
Well, you better have better run like I was.
So in the Rogers Center, Edwin Encarnacion for the Toronto Blue Jays hits a towering foul ball directly to me. It drops 2 rows in front of me. There's not a lot of fans in the stands. I can get to this ball. I leap over the 2 rows of stands, and I'm on top of the ball. Unbeknownst to me, there is a very, very large man that also wants this ball. And he dives on top of me, pancakes me, and I'm squished, man. I'm squished. And we're struggling for the ball, and he comes up with the ball. And you see him up on the Jumbotron jumping up and bouncing up and down. His belly's flopping up and down. He's got the ball. This whole thing plays out on the Jumbotron with me, the little tall shrimpy kid, getting
flattened.
I get completely disrespected, try to get this ball. I don't get it. And this footage ends up on ESPN.
Oh.
The ESPN.
Oh.
And I'm humiliated on national television.
I can't believe they let that guy get away with that.
Yeah, they have their. I don't know that it was a top 10 play of the day, but
I believe that would have made it.
But yeah, it ended up on ESPN.
Where were the yellow coats then?
I don't know. But to this day, so all this to say, whenever I'm at an MLB game and I get a home run or a foul ball and I don't hand it to the 8-year-old kid picking his nose right next to me, please understand where I'm coming from. That's all I got to say. Hey, what a fun way to share some memories. And I know our listeners have moments too. We want to hear from you. Text the show 501-915-1300. Tell us about your favorite professional sports memory. Let's pick one, and then let's talk about it next week on our show.
Let's do that. Yeah, text us. That'd be fun.
Send us your story, and we'll share your story on next week's show. Text us once again, 501-915-1300.
Well, we got our winner from the Travelers, too. We got to talk about later.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. We got more baseball to talk about. Lots of big baseball stories coming up next when we come back. Sports and Shorts Tailgate Edition continues in a moment on 92.9 KVRE.
Third quarter coming up.
And we're back. Sports and Shorts Tailgate Edition 92.9 KVRE. He's Tracy Simpson, and I'm Mark Oliver. Tracy, over at Majestic Park in Hot Springs, there are a lot of big things going on. Of course, Spring Youth Baseball League is in full swing, pun intended, at the ballpark. Of course, I'm an assistant coach for Rivers T-ball team. Go A's, by the way. T-ball is a barrel of monkeys and more, just to begin with there. But even in the bigger leagues, so much competition. I mean, everybody's who's everybody. I walk through the ballpark. We're getting ready for a game. I must run into 10, 15 people.
Oh,
we know
easy.
what a great way for the community to come together and share the love of the game. Whether it's young boys, young girls, just growing the love of the game. We can't say enough good things about Majestic Park. But we're going to try to say a little bit more in the third quarter of this week's show because there's some really big news and some big tournaments coming down the pipeline at Majestic Park this week. in the next few weeks and in the next few months here in Hot Springs. So first things first, the ballpark's going to be very, very busy. Beginning today, Majestic Park is hosting the Fast Pitch America's Softball Association tournament. This is a really big deal. A lot of eyes across the region and the country will be in Hot Springs this week. The best and brightest young stars in fast pitch softball will be taking flight over at Hank Aaron Field, and I'm really excited to see some bright stars in there. Another big story that's really come down is it sort of involves National Park College and the NJCAA. So the National Junior College Athletic Association has just moved its Region 2 baseball tournament to, guess where, Majestic Park. This is a tournament that NPC competes in, as well as many other Arkansas and Oklahoma schools. Traditionally, I think for maybe even like the past 14 years or so, this has been in Enid, Oklahoma. Oklahoma has been the mecca, the staple for this tournament. But due to some double bookings, the tournament became up in the air, and Majestic Park was able to land a huge tournament here. So not only will National Park College Nighthawk Baseball, who I might add is very well into its best season ever in program history, will now have home field advantage in the playoffs. But you're going to be looking at some of the best and brightest young talent in the college circuit right here in Majestic Park, May 7 through 11 out at Majestic Park over on Babe Ruth Field. There are going to be some long days there for a particular broadcaster I know, who I might add, I've also been tapped for play-by-play for the entire tournament over the 5-day window. I am super excited for this. The winner of the tournament goes to Arizona for a one-series playoff. The winner between the Arkansas-Oklahoma region and the Arizona region, they're going to the World Series. And Arkansas has sent its winner of the Region 2 tournament to the College World Series in 3 consecutive years, that being South Arkansas College out of El Dorado. NPC, who has taken down South Ark in a game this year, believes that they have what it takes to upend not only the Region 2 champion Stars, but to make it further than ever before. This is a huge deal for the city of Hot Springs. Obviously, National Park College, but Majestic Park as well, as Derek Phillips and this staff and this talented grounds crew, everyone that's involved top to bottom in this organization, continues to show why this is a top-notch facility here in Central Arkansas.
Mark, think how I mean, when this all began a while back, just the chance of it being now this big and getting bigger and bigger, I don't think they knew that it was going to grow like this. And I'll be honest with you, in this short of a relatively time, I'll be honest with you, because, it's less than 5 years. And so now to get this kind of a tournament, this staple in the area, and like what you said, doing for the community, the commerce, my goodness gracious. But that's what it's all about. They had a dream, and it's, boy, is it coming to reality. And the essence about it is, not only I've got a big question for you, okay? Do you need some help calling the games?
You want to come down and call a game with me? Is that what you want to do some baseball with me?
I can run and go get popcorn for you.
I've always got a second headset with me. You know that. But what a huge thing. And of course, there are, not to take away, there are other really great youth and college level baseball facilities that are like city owned and private all across the state. And you never know, whenever you invest the money, and millions of dollars went into building this facility. Great location, historic location, really, when you think about the rich baseball history of Hot Springs. But you never know if the community is going to buy in. But we talked about it time and time again. Flag football in the fall or youth baseball leagues, they continue to break record numbers every single year. The community has not only bought in, they love this. And like I said, we're out at the ballpark this week and just walking over to Cy Young Field to get Rivers T-ball game. I must have ran into 15 people I knew, and everybody's connecting and chatting it up, and how are you? And, back in the day, if you wanted to do that, you just had to walk into like Walmart or something, right? But now you've got this facility here. It's beautiful, and the kids are all playing sports all year round in Majestic Park with the Flag Football League. They've bought into that too, keeping players involved. It's not just baseball. It's not just softball. It's every possible thing they can do to keep kids off the couch. We talked to Lance Restum last week with the Arkansas Travelers Youth Foundation, trying to battle childhood obesity and get him off the couch and get him active. All these great organizations, of course, the Travelers in Majestic Park partner up multiple times throughout the year for youth camps, things like that. What a great thing. And that's not even the biggest thing that Majestic Park has going on, because down the road, coming up later this year,
drum roll.
I can't do that.
Oh, okay.
I don't. I physically can. I want to do that. I physically can't do that. The Babe Ruth World Series is coming to Majestic Park. Teams of 14-year-olds from all around the world are going to come to Hot Springs, Arkansas, and play in the Babe Ruth League World Series. It's presented by Hyperfiber, and this is huge. August 7th through 16th. You want to see the top talent. We're not talking about region or national anymore. We're talking about the top talent in the world. We're expecting thousands of visitors to come from all across the globe to spend 10 days in Hot Springs and showcase the top talent from around the world. This absolutely will be the largest tournament in Majestic Park history.
And it's in conjunction with
Hot Springs Baseball Weekend.
There you go. Boom.
That's taking place August 8th and 9th. And, of course, legendary baseball players Johnny Bench, Ron Guidry, Brett Saberhagen, Steve Garvey, Goose Gossage, Al the Mad Hungarian Herboski. Oh, yeah. I mean, if you love baseball, Majestic Park and the city of Hot Springs have found a way to make you love it even more. There's going to be all sorts of countries represented in this. I believe it's 18 teams from around the U.S., some international teams. Their fans are going to be coming. And, of course, with the live stream capabilities that exist as well, this is huge. And there's even going to be a Hot Springs host team that's also playing in the series, made up of players from the local Babe Ruth League teams here. So local fans will even have a home team to root for. And who knows, maybe we, with all the baseball resources we have, can take down the top teams in the world to take home the title.
There you go.
You got to be there to find out.
I'm telling you, it's going to be a lot of fun, no doubt about that. And we'll have much more coverage of that as it gets closer to us.
Absolutely. More to come on Sports and Shorts Tailgate Edition. Our local roundup is just around the corner. Don't go anywhere. We're back in a moment on 92.9 KVRE.
Fourth quarter coming up.
And we're back, Sports and Shorts Tailgate Edition on 92.9 KVRE, online at kvre.com. He's Tracy Simpson. I'm Mark Oliver. Before we begin our local roundup this week, Tracy, we can't forget to extend a huge congratulations to one lucky listener who took home an Arkansas Travelers Family 4-pack last week. Thank you so much for listening in. Tracy, who was our big winner?
Jim Meyer out of Hot Springs, and he was, he can't wait. And he was telling me about some other events also that are coming up, and even as it is, we're speaking right now, they had one of the biggest weeks so far against Midland. And they're on a streak right now, unbelievable streak right now. So got to say congratulations to Jim and also the Arkansas Travelers. What a streak they got going.
We love the Arkansas Travelers. Congratulations, Jim. First of all, thanks for listening to. And second of all, we hope that you and your family enjoy the games if you haven't used your tickets already.
There you go.
All right, so we've got some big local stories coming up. First, in the high school girls basketball scene, a couple of young stars have signed to play and continue their basketball careers at the next level. Caitlin Gurin of Cutter Morning Star fame has signed to continue her basketball career with North Arkansas College. She'll be taking her talents to Harrison, joining the Lady Pioneers and Coach Howard, and a great opportunity there. I love seeing these local homegrown talent that have done so many great things on the high school level, getting the chance to continue playing the game that they love at the next level. Another local star from Malvern High School, Miss Jalen Finley, has traded in her black and orange for black and blue. Near and dear to my heart, Jalen Finley is your new National Park College Nighthawk, joining Eddie Broughton Sr.'s squad next year. And those two young ladies will be facing off against each other in NJCAA Region 2 play coming up around the early part of 2026 in conference play. But Jalen Finley and Caitlin Gurin, if you've ever seen these two young ladies go at it at the basketball court, wait till you see it going at it against each other on the basketball court. Congratulations to both Caitlin and Jalen for signing their future. They get to continue playing the game they love at the next level with some very solid, established programs.
You know what, Mark? So it's so special, and we love talking about local talent. There's nothing like it in the world, and it just keeps surfacing. I mean, time after time after time, and I can't wait because I'm seeing a good crop of some younger classmen at the junior high level that are just that are phenomenal. And it's just encouraging to know that there's kids out there, there's parents out there, there's coaches out there that are here for them every day. Because you know as well as I do that it's one thing to be out there during the game, but the hours they put in behind the scenes and pushing it and pushing it and pushing it, and then also going to class and getting the grades. And that's why earlier, in the first quarter, I was talking about education because, hey, look, that's what they're getting in the long run is an education, and they're out there having, fun. Who is not having fun when you get to play the sport you love and also get an education and your family's close by right here? That's pretty cool.
Speaking of both National Park College and North Arkansas College, the two teams went head-to-head on the softball diamond in Harrison earlier this week, where NPC sophomore hurler Bailey Cowell continued to make history for National Park College, taking down another huge record. This time it was the single-game strikeout record. In her 13th win of the season, the right-handed pitcher struck out, get this, 15 batters in the ball game to secure a 2-1 victory over North Arkansas College. This year, Bailey Cowell has now thrown the first ever perfect game in Nighthawk history. That was in the season opener, opening day perfect game. She has now set the all-time wins record at NPC, which is now 25 and counting. And now the single-game strikeout record with 15 Ks in a game. Tracy, on the softball level, they typically only play 7 innings.
Right.
That is so difficult to do. And we talk about unbreakable records in a previous show. This is one that might never fall. The previous record was 13, and Jaden Hart was great when she was a Nighthawk. 15 is very, very close to almost being untouchable unless you strike out everybody in the ball game pretty much.
Yeah, well, 15, Mark, that's phenomenal. Are you kidding me? And you're right. That may be something that's setting the bar pretty high right there, buddy. That's setting the bar real high.
If there's a GOAT for Nighthawk softball, it just may well be Bailey Cowell, a name we've talked about a lot on this show this year. And of course, she has recently signed to continue her softball career at Cotty College in Missouri. So congratulations to Bailey getting the chance to continue playing the game she loves as well.
Mark, we encourage everybody out there. Look, I know we say this time and time again, but if you get a chance, get out and watch some of these kids play ball. It is something special. Even if you don't have somebody that's linked to it or whatever, just do it yourself. Do yourself a favor and get out and enjoy some of these games. You're not going to be let down. I promise you that. I don't care whether it's T-ball or whether it's at the collegiate rank. This is something special. And, man, you'll get that popcorn and that soda pop, and you'll sit there. Next thing you know, you're hollering at the blue. I promise you that.
Oh, yes. That's our show, Sports and Shorts Tailgate Edition here on 92.9 KVRE. You can text the show anytime, 501-915-1300. We're here every Saturday morning at 10 a.m. on 92.9 KVRE, and we're online all the time at kvre.com and on iHeartRadio. He's Tracy Simpson. I'm Mark Oliver. We'll see you next week.
Game over.